Welcome to the No Life Digital Podcast Show. What is going on? Coronavirus is taking over. We have quarantined everyone in the world. We're all under lockdown. It's a pandemic, global pandemic. Everything's getting canceled. We went from cancel culture to canceling literally everyone, to everyone and everything. And now we got to deal with it. Now we have to deal with it. But it is okay because we have video games and TV and movies and internet. So
we have video games.
It's not too bad.
Yeah.
Good movies, good shows.
We're going to eventually run out of the movies and shows, I think. But we'll have video games.
Oh, yeah. As long as we have Wi-Fi, I think no one's too upset. Imagine if Wi-Fi goes down. It'd be mayhem. No internet. Can't deal with it. So what's up, guys? Have you been quarantined?
Yeah, basically.
Kind of. I start a new work schedule tomorrow, where they essentially took our office and split it into two separate shifts. One's like really early in the morning, and then one later at night with a half-hour like overlap where nobody's in the office.
Yeah.
So there's just a half hour of nobody to make sure that as minimal contact of others happens.
Oh, at least they have you working.
Yeah, I mean, I'm working 6-hour days, but I'm getting paid for the full 7.5. So at the end of it, I work 4 days and get paid for an extra day. So my paycheck isn't being affected, which is nice.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I know a lot of people, there's a lot of people in the restaurant industry that are fucked. They're just fucked. They're gonna lose. I see people on Twitter losing their jobs. You work on, nothing you can really do. You know, it sucks. The good thing about the restaurant industry, it's pretty easy to get a job. If you have experience, it's pretty easy to hop around restaurant to restaurant. It sucks, but it is easier than a lot of other industries. This is from someone that's been to, I've worked in so many restaurants, and it's usually not that difficult as long as you know what you're doing. It still sucks though. Hopefully they figure that shit out. Looks like they're going to be bailing people out, which is nice. I don't know if $1,000 is enough, but $1 trillion taken out. I don't really see a downside, I don't really see a downside. You can shock the markets by not doing it and just keeping the debt the way it is, or you increase the debt, which is imaginary anyway, and then try to infuse
But how
some
will
more
we
cash.
pay for it?
You can't. You pay for it by war. That's how
China.
You pay for it. You literally pay for it by imperialism. It's the only way.
I'm just saying, anytime anybody ever talks about the debt and then doing things that cost money, and all I ever hear is, how will we pay for it?
Yeah. $1 trillion is a lot.
It's imaginary.
It is imaginary. Well, it's not quite imaginary. It's
when you deal with numbers that large, it just loses all meaning.
Yeah, especially the what is the debt right now? That's what I'm curious about. The debt right now is it's so high that you really can't pay it back. The reason why they're able to even take money out, because I believe they even went into default, or they were almost near default. But it's just backed by war. It's backed by the power of your country. It's not backed by gold. It ain't backed by oil. It's not a petrodollar, as much as some people want to say it is. There's no resources behind it. It's just, this is what we say it is. Our
Saudi
dollar's
Arabia.
a dollar.
I was going to say, isn't OPEC finding that out kind of hard right now?
Mm-hmm. So you just take another $1 trillion off the top, give it to the people. Otherwise, your market's going to be fucked for years. I mean, if the market goes down for a couple months, it'll be years before anything rebounds, and we'll definitely hit another recession, and then the housing market's going to go under, and then you're not going to have any industry, you're not going to have any new jobs. People are going to lose their jobs all over the place, and then ultimately China would win that battle. They do win that fight. So maybe they're I don't
If
know.
you do need a job by any off chance, though, apparently Amazon's making 100,000 because that's all we're gonna do for the next 3 months.
Oh yeah, Amazon's gonna be caking. Oh yeah, good thing they exist, huh? Good thing they exist. Oh, and shippers, people who ship, truckers. Crazy, crazy. I wonder if they can start a tipping service for truckers. That's gonna happen. I mean, in a Mad Max world, in the future, right? You got to ship something. Someone's got to go give it to you, right? There's gonna be no drones. So what you do is you attach a vig to it and you say I'll ship it to you, but that tip is gonna be 40%. UPS is hiring. All right, $23 trillion. By the way, the debt is 23 trillion.
18 bajillion.
It's so high. It's such an insane number. It's insane. What's even more insane is like just how much more a trillion is to a billion. It's crazy. Is there anyone near $1 trillion? No, right? Like Bezos is the richest. What's his net worth? It's 110 billion. I mean, he's almost there. His net worth is 110
Only about
billion
90% more to go, dude.
Holy shit, that's fucking nuts.
You need like 300 Bezoses.
That's nuts. I thought it wasn't. I didn't know it was that high. Yeah, you need about 100 more. All right. All right, let's talk about some games. Let's get into some games, baby. I've been playing some new games. I don't know about you guys. But I've been playing Ori and the Will of the... Or no, I don't want to talk about that yet. I'm talking about Nioh 2. So that's how I have my thing queued up here. So here's the footage from Nioh 2. Let me turn this down. Can you guys hear that, by the way? All right. All right,
Yes.
good. I want you to kind of hear it anyway, because if I play videos, I want you guys to be able to hear it. All right, yeah. So Nioh 2, I was a huge fan of Nioh 1. I thought Nioh 1 was excellent. I love Souls-likes. Yeah, this is not a secret to the show. Nioh was one of the better ones. Very complex game. The best part about Nioh is the fighting stances. You have 3 stances. You have the high, you have the mid, and then you have the low. The low stance allows you to dodge quicker. The mid stance is good for blocking and parrying. High stance is for attack. And there's this thing called the key pulse. The key pulse is when you essentially, after every attack, you get this like pulse meter that comes up, and then if you key pulse, then you recover some of your stamina. And it's vital because the game's all about stamina. You get hit, your stamina loses. You attack, your stamina gets lost. Everything you do, you dodge, stamina goes down. So you need to manage your stamina really well. And of course, different heavier weapons that deal higher attacks deal heavier hits to your stamina. So they mitigate that by allowing you to key pulse. And then your key pulse can lead into stance changes. So while you key pulse, you can switch to a stance, and then that can lead into different attacks. So you can string up some really complex combos and do some cool stuff in the game. It's very, very difficult. The first one is so difficult. One of the hardest Souls-likes that I think I've played. Even more so than Sekiro, because Sekiro was a lot. You didn't have to focus on any key pulses and stance switches. It's just the complexity of it made it more difficult. This definitely keeps that. It's probably the hardest that I've played. This is a very difficult game, but it's so fun, man. It's just Dark Souls. There's so many weapons. There's so much loot that drops. It's all about making different builds and finding different cool weapons to try out and progressing through and just getting better at the game and going through this weird sort of samurai, crazy Japanese samurai story that they kind of put forth. Some things that they do differently. Let's see if I can find some footage of it here. Yeah, so here you can see this is the yokai realm. So now they make this game that's already extremely difficult, and then they give you this yokai realm that you have to do. And the yokai realm essentially is an area that makes your stamina recovery a lot lower. Your stamina drain when you make attacks is a lot higher. The attacks that the enemies hit you with are a lot harder. and it just increases the odds of you dying and just makes it so much more difficult. So these I'm finding are a little bit, they're just so hard, and the game's already hard, so I'm just like, did they have to go that extra mile to make it this much harder? So I don't know how I feel about it yet, but I am pretty early on in the game, and I don't want to really give it a review yet. I just wanted to give you my first impressions. And so far, having a fucking blast with it. It's just Nioh 1, but just amped up. There's so much more to it in all the areas. That move you just saw me do, that's like a yokai spirit move. So you can now suck souls up from your enemies and steal they basically have different moves. So there's almost like Monster Hunter-esque elements to it where you're going to try to go after these really difficult bosses. You're going to try to take them down, and hopefully they drop one of these cores and you can steal a move from them, or a skill rather. And that just adds to the fun. It adds to the grind, it adds to the hunt. The game's all about combat, and you got to enjoy the combat loop, which I do. I think it's one of the more satisfying combat loops. You get the block, you get the parry, you get the dodge roll. So it's not just like Sekiro where you can only parry, where it's basically meant to just parry, and it's not like Dark Souls where it's just meant to be dodge rolling all around. You kind of have to utilize both, and there's different skills you can do with your parries and stuff. But at the end of the day, you're basically swinging your sword or swinging your axes, picking up loot, and trying out different builds. And I can't wait to see what some people do with some of these builds, because there's just so much more to it. So much more to it. I would imagine this is a lot like Diablo 3 mixed with Dark Souls. It's really a loot grinder with Souls combat, and I couldn't be happier. It's such a fucking fun game. But I haven't gone through that so far, so we'll come back to that. I do want to talk about Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which I did beat, and man, let me tell you, what a fucking treat that game was. So have you guys played the original Ori at all?
I have.
How did you like? Did you enjoy it?
One of my favorite indies.
Yeah.
It's in the top 10 of my favorite indies. With I can't even think of a top 10, but Ori, Hotline Miami, Katana Zero.
Yeah.
There's Super Meat Boy.
Yeah, there's a lot. Yeah.
It's up there with those games.
I think you're gonna love this one. You're gonna love it, man. So I got into Ori late because I remember you were talking about it, so I decided to go get it. I think a year or two ago, and I loved it. It's so fucking fun. This one I think is better. I think it's better in almost every way. It's still the same sort of Ori game. It's still a Metroidvania. I mean, nothing really changes from the core gameplay. It's just so much faster and so much more fluid. It just feels so good. The platforming is so smart. Ori dances around the screen. The imagery, the graphics are just a little bit better. There's just more stuff to do. There's more attacks. And I found myself I was a little bit disappointed with the length of the game. I would have loved it to be a little bit longer, but I just want more. I want more combat. I want more boss fights. It did feel a little bit short because it was just so fun. I just flew through it. I was having a blast trying to collect as much as I can and get into as many dungeons as I can. And I just, you have to play it, man. It's so fucking good. I think so many people are really going to like it. It's tough, but I do recommend you try it on the hardest difficulty, because it is tough. I think if you make it a little bit more tough, then it'll increase your playtime a little bit, and it'll just make it a little bit more rewarding. But I went through it on normal, and I think I'm going to try to go through again on hard and play through it. I loved it though, man. It's just, it's so good. And I don't really know, I'm trying to remember the differences in the game, because they are very similar. I guess the difference is just there's just more things you can do. There's more skills that you can get. There's more types of attacks. You get all the same attacks from the last one, except now I liked using a lot of the ranged attacks a little bit more in this one, just because you can string up some really cool combos. The story is really nice and kind of sad and a little dark, but Damn, this game is so good, dude. It's so good. I don't know how much it is. How much is this game? I think it was 30. It's free on Game Pass, so if you have Game Pass, you have no reason to not pick it up. Oh, I do want to talk about performance as well. Let me see. How much is this game really quick? $30. Oh, come on. You got to get it. You got to get it. For $30, this is a steal. So I played on. Is there like lag going on the stream? So I played on PC, and I have a pretty good PC. I have never had. I didn't have any issues with the PC version at all. It ran flawlessly in my opinion, and I just didn't see any problem with the game. So, oh, there's a lot of chugging going on. What the fuck?
Pretty great PC. It's okay, everybody. No, I'm kidding.
Oh no. I wonder how long this has been like this.
It wasn't for a while.
What's going on here? It wasn't?
It wasn't for the most part, but then it just started for a little bit.
Maybe it's because this is running at 60 frames. Let me see if I pause this, if it goes back to normal. Let's try that. Let's just try to get out of it real quick. Oh, crud. Alright, let me see if I can... Hold on a second, guys. No, it didn't seem to help. What the fuck happened? Why is it so laggy? Yeah, I'm dropping frames on this. Alright. We're gonna have to do this. Shit, man.
Well, while Wayne tries to figure that out, how about them Tom Brady's? He's gone. It's Boston rioting.
To the Buccaneers. Turncoat Tom.
If he actually goes to the Bucs, that'd be so funny to me.
I mean,
I
got
love
good wide receivers.
True, but I just love that he's just like
And their O-line isn't bad either. Like the Chargers have a trash O-line, so I'm not surprised he's not going to the Chargers.
Oh yeah, why would you?
All right, I think we're good now.
Okay, well,
Oh wow,
over.
VOC was just killing
Phillip
my
Rivers
PC.
getting overpaid by the Colts is great.
I mean, what else are they gonna do though? To be honest, I mean they're only gonna get 1 or 2 years out of him before he decides to retire.
I'm just happy the Titans signed up Tannehill.
So I think we're back. Maybe
Have the Lions made any moves yet?
I don't want to talk about it, dude. Yes, we've gotten significantly worse, in my opinion, and that's about what I expected. So,
Didn't you sign a quarterback to back up Stafford?
yeah, but that's not what I'm worried about. It's more just we're like overpaying